Welcome to Mr. Moon has left the building. I am Sam Palmer.
Hello, and I'm Eddie Chard. How you doing, Sam?
Do you know what? Even as I'm saying it, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be here.
This,
Yeah, I'm pissed off because I know what this episode's going to be already. I know
yeah,
what it's going to be. Is it Moyes in, Moyes out? It's all started again. It's been a bad couple of weeks, hasn't it?
it's not been good, is it? Like the Fulham game, I was starting to think, yeah, this isn't looking good, and I was hoping for a miracle against Leverkusen, and I thought
Although
that,
we've
and I
got to
thought that might
say,
turn it around.
Leverkusen, the
Yeah, we should
first
definitely.
half was. I actually think it's the best I've probably seen West Ham play. We were insane. The tempo was insane.
Yeah,
But, and this goes to the people who want to play attacking football, if you don't have a team that's fit enough to do it, then all of a sudden what happens is the second half and we were dead as a doornail.
yeah, no legs left. Yeah, we definitely need to start there though, because I think that's probably my favourite performance of the season.
Yeah, I think it was one of mine as well.
First half, what
I truly enjoyed it. I was rolling around my front room. I literally, I was, I don't think I'd ever been that nervous. I don't think I was even that nervous in the final. But I really felt that we were going to do it.
mate, I was in the stadium, and it was just, it
It
felt like,
sounded like it was rocking in there.
it was, I think, the best atmosphere I've experienced at the ground. It felt very much like Seville, and it just had that feeling like we were going to do it, and
Yeah.
everyone was up for it, and everyone just thought we was going to do it. Um, and yeah, they played their arts out first half, didn't they? And
Oh,
you know, dare say if we'd nicked another one, you just never
and we
know.
could have. We had some chances. We
Yeah,
really did have some chances. Yeah, like I said, it was electric. But then you knew what was coming. And then I suppose this is what you got to say with Moyes a little bit of, and we'll go into this a bit in a minute. But if you've got no bench, you can't play that way because it showed. We did not have the fitness to keep going. And we were pretty dead. And I know he took Alvarez off, and people sort of thought, why is he taking Alvarez off? He was out on his feet.
nothing left, did he?
Nothing. Like nothing. Played well, gave everything. But at 60 minutes, they were dead. They were gone.
Yeah, legs were
And
gone.
we really hung in the second half. It wasn't a great performance second half, but
No.
that first half we could have done it, but then we wouldn't have been able to hang on. So that you kind of look and go, like when you look at it's Johnson, Cresswell every week, the subs. Well, I know Cornet come on, but I don't know. Like he doesn't believe in them, Moyes. I don't believe in them. We haven't got a bench. We haven't got a squad. And this is where it's all coming home to roost. But it was, I think, it was a very good performance.
Oh, it was a great effort, wasn't it? It was a real good effort. Everyone gave absolutely everything. And first half, they were brilliant. Everyone was brilliant first half. They just ran out of legs, and I mean that's going to happen, isn't it? And it's just, I think it's the only way we could have attacked that game the way we
Yeah,
did. And you're just hoping either just to, you can
bit
stay
of a
in it with the
miracle.
legs. Yeah, or he does make the changes and the subs can do a job. But it was I was quite emotional that game. I know it's weird to say, but it's just that's the way we want West Ham to play. It was the fact that it's probably going to be our last European game for God knows how long. It probably means the writing's on the wall for Moyes, who, despite what everyone says, he has been unbelievable for this club for these last 4 years.
And
And
I honestly think he's probably our greatest manager.
he's got to be got to be there or thereabouts, isn't he?
Did you see the podcast that went around this week with Stuart Pearce and Sam Allardyce?
Yes, I did see that. Yeah,
When he said, West Ham look at this past with rose-tinted glasses of Brooking and Bobby Moore with a style of football that they think was played that was probably never actually played. It was actually quite... And he said, what did they win? 3 trophies their whole lifetime. I really do agree with him because we're obviously hearing like yesterday. This has made me laugh yesterday. Big hullabaloo about the Portuguese guy. What's his name?
Ruben, is it Amaron?
Yeah. He's coming over, being flown over Wild West Ham on a private plane. Old season ticket renewals are up, aren't they? Dangle the old big manager in front of us. He leaves, and it's basically said he has got no interest in that job. And I looked, and I just thought we've all fell for it like a hook, line, and sinker again. This is who we're going for.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Palace first. So, I did watch Palace. I thought we'd get battered against Palace. If we play a defensive style of football, we cannot get battered. And it's been 5 times this year, I think. Liverpool away, Cup, Fulham, Arsenal, Palace. Is there another one in there? Maybe not. Maybe that's the 4.
Villa. Did you say Villa? Villa away.
What was the score there?
I
didn't remember that one.
4-0.
So if you're going to be a defensive team, you've got to be good at defending. It was actually appalling, the effort. And like, I know we can say, and look, to be fair, other clubs do get away with it. They're burnt out from Europe and this and that. And we probably are more burnt out than anyone because we've got the smaller squad than anyone, older squad than anyone, and we've been in Europe longer than anyone. But, it was dreadful. I've got to be honest with you, I thought Paquetá was disgraceful.
So bad.
Antonio was laughable. He gave the ball away every time he touched it. Literally gave the ball away. I know he scored, like, threw his leg in. Like, it's like, yeah, that's the sort of goal I'd expect from him. Paquetá, though, he was abysmal the way he gave the ball away. And I will say now, I do not think he has got a hope in hell of ever playing for Manchester City. I actually hope they do buy him. I really do. But you will never see him ever again. I'm pretty certain. Because someone said, well, at Man City, he'd do a lot better. Well, if that's your attitude going to Man City, then... And I'm not having a go at his attitude because he's been... And I love him. I do love him at West Ham. What I'm saying is, at Man City, he will never be able to get away with that performance. He'd never play again.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I do agree that performance was diabolical, and Pep
plus
was just
the
not
6 others, really. Because really, what killed us? Missing Paquetá, missing Emerson in that Leverkusen game. That really killed us. Missing Alvarez the first game. So that really has killed us, hasn't it? All of them.
Yeah.
Alvarez again, getting a stupid booking again against Palace. It's like they've got to grow up a little bit, I think. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you're either a fucking idiot or like there's something wrong with you. But it's all right saying that's the way he plays, but like you've got to learn somewhere, surely.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of them are just needless fouls, aren't they? Needless bookings.
It's ridiculous, or arguing, or throwing the ball away, or...
Yeah.
Just absolute ridiculous. Because it's cost our team this year, and probably it's cost Moyes his job.
Yeah.
That game Sunday, I think, has cost Moyes his job. It's done. There's no coming back from that.
No, and you know what? After the effort they put in Thursday, I was fully expecting to lose to Palace. I really was. I wasn't expecting anything out of that.
But
game.
not in that manner.
But I didn't think they'd put in that type of performance. And
they looked like Brazil at some points.
No.
Eze and Elise, I did say they when them together. Yeah. They've barely played together, but I'll tell you what, they're an half a good pairing. The finish from Eze was unbelievable the way he smashed it in. But they literally made us look. They looked like Brazil. They were carving us apart. Older Bonner, he dragged off at half time. So, and again, look, it's sad to see your Bonner go out like that. You don't want to have a dig at him. He's been brilliant. But unfortunately, the day's done.
Last game. Yeah, that's probably his last game for us as well, which is a bit
I
sad
bet you
as
it's
well.
not. I bet you he gets another year.
Do you?
Yeah, I bet you he does.
I think it's ridiculous if he does, to be honest with you. As much as I love him.
And I'm exactly the same. This is not a dig at him.
No.
I'd like to just say that because, again, think he's been a fantastic servant.
Oh, he's been amazing for us.
But, and this is where we get to now, right? We was talking about it yesterday with this guy, this Portuguese guy, if he was coming on board, right? And he wants to play a new, expansive way of football. Now, we want to change that and we want to play expansive football. That means, are we going to completely overhaul the squad? And I mean, there's probably 7 of our first team starters that would need to go if you're going to do that. Or are we going to try and play football with the same players? And I believe you end up like Burnley. Because
I don't think we can. I can't think we can play a different style with the same players.
Because firstly, Areola, great keeper, definitely not a keeper that's great on the floor. So okay, like you get by in a game, but he's definitely not a player, a keeper that anyone would be buying who plays progressive football. Zuma, not a good passer of a ball. Soufal wouldn't make it. Navrapanos wouldn't make it. Agard probably would. But you've got to be okay then the defending's going to be rubbish. And Emerson probably could. Midfield, Souček would have to go. James Ward-Prowse would have to go. Antonio would have to go. So that's your first team there. And then the bench all has to go. So firstly then, how are we going to generate that money? Well, Pat goes without a doubt. But with that amount of rehaul, you're probably looking at Bowen and Kudos having to go as well. Because you're looking at probably needing to spend 400 million, 300 million to do that. So that then leaves you, and that's where you look and go, well, is it easier to play defensive football with lesser players? Like, can you get a bit more out of a Craig Dawson in that style than you can a ball-playing centre-half? Because they're going to be a lot more money. And have we got it to do it?
Well, this is it. I mean, everyone wants Moyes out, but the big question is who is going to come in. And the thing about Moyes, as much as people don't like him, or some people don't like him, like you've said in the past, he is perfect for this club in terms of what the board want, what the board offer us, and what he does.
And also, and as I say, it can't be. I'm not going to sit here and dig the board out with it. They've got money that they can spend. We are not City. We are not, and we've also got to be in financial fair play. So, does our model have to change that we become Brighton a selling club to be able to generate them funds? But Brighton and Brentford are well below us. So, are we going to be happy with that? Because we can't say we want to play like Liverpool and City and Spurs if we haven't got the budget to make it happen. Because Burnley are trying to do that, and they're probably one of the worst teams I've ever seen in the Premiership. One of the most naive teams. Keep doing it, they won't change their style of play and get beat every week. It's outrageous. If I was a Burnley fan, I'd be going insane. Because that wouldn't look attractive football to me. Keep playing out the back, keep losing it at the back, and keep conceding goals. So and I think that's what's coming for us. I really do.
Yeah, I do worry. I definitely do worry, and I do. People that don't see the bigger picture.
Just change the
And yeah,
style.
yeah, it's like
That's all I
I've got,
hear. We've got a footballing team. Have we? We got Paquetá. Like
we've got,
that's the only one I see in that team that's a footballer. And
well,
Emerson, probably.
we've got, we've
Is
got some good
Kudos
attack.
like that ball playing player? Would you see Kudos No, I don't mean you would. He's great work rate. Same as Bowen. I don't think they're amazing, technically gifted players. But I think they're real workmen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really, really worried, I've got to say.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we are gonna roll the dice, and I just hope if we are, then it is someone, like I said before, a kind of young superstar manager. I know they're not easy to find. There's not loads out there, but that's the type of manager you'd want. But then everything else, like we said before, everything else has got to, he's got to be supported financially. Tim Steiten's then he's got to find these young players that that we can sell on for more if we need to, or just progress into top Premier League players, because we haven't got the budget to go out and buy them outright. So
No.
it's like it's just
And
like,
are we doing it all a little bit late? Like,
well,
for a
yeah,
shift of a club, like to say, right, we're going to move from defensive football to attacking football next year, and we need a complete overhaul. We still, up until a week ago, they were sort of saying David Moyes is the manager. So are we just going, oh no, we've lost against Palace now, fans are turning, let's just flick out something. This is my worry, that there's been no forward planning of this situation, and we're going to roll a dice and see how it goes. And that sounds exactly what we'll get at West Ham.
and that's when I kind of have a little pop at the board. It's stuff like that
Yeah,
I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. They've never got a future
like a
vision for our
5-year
club.
plan.
They never have. They just, see how it goes. They got lucky with Moyes, and they've
Yeah.
just run with it. They've run with it, and now they're like, and do we trust them to hire a top manager? What has their track record been like?
Yeah.
It's just,
David
for
Moyes
me,
has
it's a
been the
little.
only good one.
What's that?
David Moyes has been the only good one.
Yeah, I mean, arguably Allardyce at the time, but we'd gone down, so he's the sort
Yeah.
of perfect man just to get us back up. But then within what was it, a year, 2 years,
He was
everyone wants him
gone.
out, and yeah, he was gone again. So yeah, it's worrying. I just can't see, like I was saying, a superstar young manager wanting to work with our board. I can't see them going in for a meeting with David Sullivan and being blown away by the future vision of the club and he's selling for. I
No, it
mean, I
is a
don't know.
shame because, as I say, and I don't think they lack ambition. I don't think they lack. I
I don't
think
know, Sam. I don't know. I
I
think
don't
they
know
do.
planning. I think bit of the planning side, or it'd be nice if that might be there for all we know. Like we can't have a go at the minute. We surmise that it's not there. Be nice for them to actually come out and say, "This is sort of our plans. We've been looking at this. We want to change the style of club. We're gonna do quite a massive overhaul here. This is and I think the fans go, "Okay, I'm on board with this." I think the moron fans, the Moyes out from day one fans, are going to be screaming for the next person to get out there within 1 year. Because I think whoever comes in right now is in big trouble unless it's David Moyes. Because I think we're in a big rebuild year. Huge. In actual fact, he should never have got to this stage.
No, he shouldn't have.
And that's where lack of planning, you say, comes in. I'm with you on it. Yeah. I'm definitely, I think I'm going to be in that I told you so camp. Because yes, I like to see a better style of football. Would I like to see us play Tottenham's football? I'd say. And yeah, I would. I think it looks quite fun. They all seem to be with it. The manager I like seems to be likeable fella. But Tottenham have invested in that team. gradually over the years as well, adding pieces to it. Look, have they? They're not added it to be going challenging for the title, but look, they're challenging for fourth. They've added to the stadium. They've got one of the best training grounds in the world. So they've tinkered with it. They had probably good enough players there under Conte to be able to transfer to a new style. Although they've brought in a lot of players. When you look at it, if you look at Spurs, new keeper, new left and right back, new centre half, 2 new midfielders, 3 because Maddison as well.
Yeah.
So that's 7 members of Spurs' starting lineup now that have changed in the last year. So they changed that style of football. So I thought it was because a lot of them are still on the bench, aren't they? Like Højbjerg and Dyer and all them people. They are still there, but actually they don't get games anymore, do they? And when they do come in, they lose because they can't play the style of football Ange wants to play. Which when they put Højbjerg in there, he's a defensive kind of player, and he can't play that style of play. So that's where you get, if you've got Souček in there trying to play that style of football, it's not going to work. But I don't think we generate any money from any of them. So,
and that's the other thing. all the players that haven't worked out for us, we're not going to get any money for.
Zuma you couldn't sell. Ange free, Cresswell free. I bet you Cresswell gets another deal this year as well. And you'd say, look, yeah, he probably can. Because some of these people we're going to have to keep because there's no way that they're going to overhaul. Sufal on a free, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
Signed a new contract, did he?
I think he has. I think he's got another year. I think Sufal has got another year.
Ben Johnson, another one, which I think I'll be glad to let go now. Yeah. And then you've got Mbama. Ings, I don't know where you get rid of Ings. You're probably going to have to pay him to leave because he's going to be on a big contract. Antonio on a free this year?
No, he's got another year.
Oh.
I think again we might get a little bit, but probably half of what we paid. So if we paid 30,
that's exactly what I think. We got a little bit of money coming from Benny and Fornals and Kera. That's not going to be. That's not going to be anywhere near what we paid.
No.
So then, where's this money going to come from? And that's what I don't think any West Ham fans taken into account at the minute. That, yeah, we're under Moyes. We could probably go and just buy. If we carried on the football we're playing, we could probably get away with buying a starting centre half or 2, and 4 squad players. And we then probably actually look all right. Which you look at that and you go, oh, we got to go and buy 12 players, 13 players. who play in a certain way, who other teams play in that way as well. So you're actually competing more against them teams as well. I don't see how it's going to be done.
Yeah.
And what's the bets the manager that we get is not at a club?
I'd say it's pretty dead certain that it's going to be a manager who's out of work at the minute. We're talking about that Lopetegui. I can't pronounce his name properly.
Yeah, Lopetegui.
That doesn't inspire you with much confidence, does it?
Because Sydney was shit at Wolves.
It's like, I mean, he's got his records all right, but you know, you might as well keep you might as well keep Moyes if you're going to go for something.
I'm the same. Graham Potter's the bookies' favourites.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
be gone in a year. Be gone in a year or a year and a half.
Everyone banging on about, style of football and that, but ultimately it's about success and doing well. And I would never have imagined these last 4 years that we've had. It's playing a more defensive counter-attack style of football, but It's been
But when
unbelievable,
it works well,
it worked well, and no one, when we finished sixth, nearly Champions League, no one cared that we were very defensive and we just counter-attacked
no.
every game. So, and yeah, I just don't think people realise how good we've had it. Like Europe 3 years in a row, like that's unheard of for West Ham. So, I do think the time has come, but he's been brilliant, and I just can't see it being as good for a while. Um, I mean,
I'm
I hope,
completely agreeing. Look, I
hoping,
hope we're wrong, but
yeah, I hope
I
we're,
actually feel a bit embarrassed for David Moyes, like
it's
on
bad, isn't
behalf
it?
of West Ham fans.
Yeah,
I think he's been treated disgracefully.
I do too. I can't. I just
I find it
don't
really
understand.
embarrassing. What he must think of us.
I
It's
know.
kind of like, and that's what Stuart Pearce said. This man gives his heart and soul for this club. I don't think anyone realises the hours he works. And that's where you look at it and you think, why does he deserve this dog's abuse for losing a game? When really, one thing Moyes has never done, he's come out and said, "Do you know what? We need a squad. Yeah, we haven't got it. We've brought in Calvin Phillips and he's been fucking shit since he's been here." I think half more fans would respect it. We've had people like Ben Rama who won't pull their finger out their asses. They come on sulking. And if he said that, I think people would go, "You're kind of right. We've bought Danny Ings. I didn't even want him here. He's rubbish. Doesn't get it. We've got Antonio up front, a makeshift winger who we've drained every ounce of anything out of him, and we're probably not going to get any more." I'm sure if David Moyes was given an open checkbook, he'd love it. But he hasn't, and he hasn't moaned, and he's just taking that stick all the time, and I do feel embarrassed for him, on behalf of West Ham fans for him.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. He's done wonders for us, and yeah, some of the I question him a lot of the time. Some of his decisions do baffle me, but overall, what he's done
He's
has been
trying to
great.
do it in the good of the football club.
Yeah, and even and these like European games, I always think under Moyes, I always think that we've got
So do
enough
I.
to go through. I always think,
I was convinced we were beating Leverkusen the other day.
yeah, I just had that feeling. I don't know, but that's what he's kind of instilled in us fans over these last few years, especially playing in Europe. We think we're good enough to beat anyone.
Yeah, and Jose Mourinho.
I know you keep coming back to old Jose. I mean, like I said before, I love him, and the more I think about it now, and the more I think about some of the names that have been touted out there, you're not going to go too far wrong by appointing him. I don't think.
Why does he work? And I'll tell you, you're going to still get defensive football, right? And that's what makes me crack up. Chelsea talk about their best era of football ever is Jose. Winner's mentality, defensive football, great spine of a team. Chelsea arguably probably one of the best teams ever in the Premiership. That Chelsea team, the Drogba, Lampard, Terry, Cech. You never hear them go, "Oh no, it's boring over here with Jose." I think Jose's got probably a bit more of a winning mentality than Moyes. There'll be fireworks. I think West Ham fans will quite enjoy that. There will be a massive fallout, without a doubt. I don't think the board could handle him, if I'm honest with you. I think he'd be too outspoken. But he could get a tune out of the players we've got now. And listen, Moyes has got the tune out of them, but they haven't had a break either. So I do get, we've got a great 11, 12 players. That's what we've got. And beyond that, we've not got it. So when we have two missing, we're in trouble. That's exactly what I think. So I think we have got a good team, got a good spine of a team. And for someone like Jose, I think he could probably put a bit more of that winner's mentality on a few of those players. I think he'd get a bit more out of Kudos, Bowen, and Alvarez. Jose wouldn't have you keep getting booked. He'd be hammering down on that. Get your tackles better, and I think that's where I'd really love Jose. But to be honest with you, I like defensive football, so it doesn't like.
I was going to say exactly the same. I was going to say exactly the same thing.
I
For
just
me,
don't like losing.
having a defence that doesn't concede goals,
I think it's beautiful, but then I've always, like when I was young, I always watched Italian football. I loved it. I love the art of defending. Love it. I think I don't know why it's not celebrated more. It's as good as goals sometimes, tackles. But I think we've just become... Who was it? Did you listen to Neville and Schweinsteiger?
no, I haven't listened to that one yet.
It's good. Schweinsteiger says something really interesting. So he says when Pep came to Barcelona, he said everyone changed, like in England, where League Two clubs now play out from the back and with the keepers and things like that. And he said Pep is amazing at it, but not everyone is. And he said, unfortunately, Germany lost its DNA. He said, because the national team started to try and do it. He said, and that wasn't us. He said, we were big guys where we were great at putting crosses in, really beating people up. And he said, and then we were playing this tiki-taka football like we were Spanish. And he said, and we weren't. And he said, and look at what happened to the German national team. We went from World Cup winners to not qualifying from groups. He said, because we changed our style. And it was quite interesting. It's like,
that's
say,
really interesting.
just because one man's great at it doesn't mean everyone else is. You look at Stoke. Where are they since Tony Pulis left?
So true.
Like, he was brilliant. If you are Stoke fans now, would you fancy Tony Pulis back and flip back round to it? They go 100%. He built a team in his image. And I just think that's where different styles can work in the Premiership. If you all play the same style, fullbacks coming in and that's what Neville said. He said everyone copies Pep, and he said he does it on purpose. He said now what's he do? He plays 4 centre halves across the back. So he changed it every week because everyone's doing what he's doing. So they're saying, well, if they're mirroring us, we're going to be exactly the same. So we've got to try something different. He's trying to be different all the time, which is fair enough. But he's a genius at it. But he's also got the best players in the world.
There is that.
Which is very different.
Yeah.
Go and see if Pep could do it at Burnley.
I'd love to see it. I would really love to see it.
And I bet you he'd say he couldn't. Because I think I watched it last night on my boys' football. There's a boy there, a really good footballer. Like, he's so good on the ball. And there's another kid who's like a battering ram. But the kid who's on the ball, great. The other kids don't run where he wants that ball to play. So it looks like he gives the ball away a lot. But he don't. He's passing exactly where he was. He's perfect, this kid. But he's playing in the wrong team. And we were looking, and one of the dads said to me yesterday, of course, like trying to play football with a load of non-footballers. And he was completely right. So if you put Kevin De Bruyne at West Ham with Antonio running in front of him, it's not going to be the same.
No, and this is, I think, a little bit is similar for Paquetá as well. He's
yes,
his football brain is so far advanced to most of our team, especially the likes of Antonio. So yeah, being around similar-minded footballers, I think he would do better. But yeah, he would still need to cut out the nonsense he does, flicks and the silly stuff.
That makes him great.
Yeah,
like it is, like without a doubt, because that's what we love. And I just think he's at a club at the moment where he's absolutely adored, can get away with having a bit of fun. And I think if the problem is that if we haven't got Europe next year, that's and I think it is a year where we'll actually do us a favour not having Europe next year with a rebuild. But do you lose players because they want to play for Europe?
Well, yeah, you will. I'd imagine.
Does Kudos want to play non-European football? I don't know.
No.
I think there's going to
I
be.
think we're lucky that he's gone off the boil a little lately, and so maybe clubs are not looking at him as much. I do think he will be a top player. He's still got a bit
So
of
do I.
development. I think he's got a bit of development. He reminds me a lot of kind of a Mane type player.
Mm.
But he's still got development to do. But I think, yeah, he's gone off the boil recently. So clubs maybe.
If I was Manchester United, I'd be trying to bring him
Yeah, I
in.
think he'd be
He's the
great for a
sort
lot
of
of
player
clubs.
that they bloody need.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you
And he
couldn't see him there,
works
couldn't
hard.
you?
He works so hard as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Um,
Seeing Tuchel's probably in line for the Manchester United job.
oh, is that what it is? Is it?
Saw that. Obviously, they were talking about Southgate before, but Tuchel.
Would you
Ten
would you
Hag's.
have taken would you have taken Tuchel at West Ham?
Oh, 100%, but he's never coming to West Ham.
No, he's never coming to West
Never. He's just come from Bayern Munich. Chelsea, Bayern Munich. He's not coming to West Ham.
Ham. No.
It's like when people said Pochettino was coming to West Ham. He's never going to come to West Ham. Would I take him? 100%. Like, that's one where you have to say, look, unfortunately, they're better managers than David Moyes. Like, they're a level above. And I would make that swap if it was all right. But yeah, I think, it's going to be sad. We've got Liverpool the weekend. Is it Anfield? No, it's at home, isn't it?
We're at home, yeah.
Even better, it's at 4:30 a.m. here as well. It's one of the first ones that we've had early doors for a long time. So at 4:30 a.m. to get up to watch West Ham play Liverpool.
But I bet you we put in a performance.
And that's it. And then that's where you go. And then that's where Moyes is going to get the... Oh, actually, maybe we should keep him next week.
Do you think if the board have made their mind up, they should announce it?
Yes. I think...
Yeah.
See, that's one thing I hate about West Ham, especially with managers, that we leave it to drag. Just either get rid of the man... And I think a lot of this comes down to compensation. They drag it through, so they don't got to pay it, and it's just sad. Like, it's just sitting a man in there to be shot dead, basically, to let him go to. And they've done it with Big Sam, all the way to the end of the season. No, we're not renewing it. And it just, you don't need to go through all that. It doesn't need to be like that. If I was David Moyes, I would today announce I'm not leaving. I'm not going to renew my contract. If I was him, I've decided, the club's decided we're going to part way. I would do that. I'd then go to Everton and bring them back. And I think he could.
Yeah.
And then when it goes all wrong again, I'd come back again.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Time lucky.
And just prove it. And just prove to everyone and shut them up. I'd do it after 1 year, and after 1 year, I'd quit and leave us in the shit. That's what I'd do. If I was him, I'd go and do Everton, West Ham in the shit. I'd come back to West Ham, do 1 year, get us where he needs, and goes, thank you very much. Good luck. Good luck on your own. And a load of people, I don't know. I think if he leaves, he's got a chance of coming back. I think because he can say, oh yeah, it's the new challenge and things like that, and everyone knows what's happened. But I think he leaves with his head held high.
I don't think he'd ever come back. The way he's been treated, I just don't think he'd ever come back. But he would take so much pleasure in just seeing the struggling. And
So would I if I was him.
And he has every right to, doesn't he? He has every right to. Yes.
Dangerous times.
It is, and I don't think West Ham fans realise, or the majority anyway. But I'm a bit nervous about where we go.
Because if David Moyes was Mark Noble, would he be getting, let's just say he was Mark Noble, David Moyes had played for us and all that, would he be getting this dog's abuse?
No.
I just don't know. I don't get why some games people think we're insane, amazing. but we play the same football. But it's okay if we win, but not if we lose. So it's basically then you can never lose.
Yeah.
I do completely agree with the performances like Palace are absolutely outrageous and disgraceful and shouldn't be happening at our football club. But I think there's also, without a bench, them players played every minute against Leverkusen. Again. Yeah, it was at home. Is Moyes not getting them up for the game? Maybe. Are they a bit tired of the training and all that now? Maybe that is it. Maybe that's why you don't see managers stick around for 5 years anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be sad when he leaves. But for him, I hope he does now, really, kind of, because it's just getting too bad. And every game it goes on, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, I think they should announce it just so, because I think the fans will get behind the team for the remaining games of the season if they know that he's going.
And I think he'd get a lovely send off, and I think he deserves that. It'd be lovely to see on the last game of the season him walked around the pitch with his family and be given that real send off. He's like bring out the cup, and kind of leave it all on a nice. I don't know if it'd just be lovely. That's what West Ham used to be.
That should be exactly how it is.
That was how our club was. That was the club I love. That we used to do that sort of stuff. And I think I don't know. I think probably the social media age, we've changed. We've always been a bit. It's funny. I heard Gary Neville say the other day that Man United fans rarely boo the team or the manager. And he said, we're not that sort of club. We don't. We always get behind, whether it's going wrong or right, we usually get behind the team and the manager. And it's like, we don't. We are booers. We are definitely. It's weird, isn't it, why we are? But we are also a deluded fan base. Because we think we should be better than we are.
Yeah.
Without any actual real substance to why that is, just because we have Bobby Moore play for us. And that really is the basis of it. Like, because we won the World Cup in '66, we think that we should be like we should be Manchester United City or less.
Well, this is what I mean. And like before these last few years, we were doing nothing. Do you know what I mean?
We were Palace
trying to survive. Yeah, which is I just don't get it. Like all of a sudden now we should be a top 6, top 4 team. It's like we've been overachieving for these last few years, and the fans have just got carried away.
We nearly went down 4 years ago.
Say that again.
We nearly went down 4 years ago.
I thought we were going down.
Oh, we were done. We were done. Completely done.
That game against Chelsea, that Yarmolenko, when we beat him home 3-2, like that changed everything. Like staying up that season, and yeah, I don't know why our fans seem a bit entitled and feel that we should be, challenging the top 6 every season.
No, I completely agree. I think we need a reality check a little bit. I think we're going to get it. I hope not. I'd love to see us go and play. I would love a United fan base. I really would, because it is annoying round with your mates all the time when you both love the same thing. But it is an us and them mentality now with your mates. Like it's like they really don't agree with what you say, and you really don't agree with what they say. It's like you both see 2 different football clubs. It is like that. It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really sad.
And it's actually you kind of celebrate against each other.
Yeah.
Like when they lose, they're happy. When we win, we're more happy. It's like it is that way, isn't it? With where the manager's in control and how the football played.
I told you so.
That's exactly what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you find that at a minute, but that's really sad, isn't it? That's where we get our kicks. Madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we'll see what happens. Let's have a look at the predictions for Liverpool. What do you reckon?
I don't think we were either of us were right for that against Palace, were we?
I said 2-0 Palace. You
Did
said
you?
1-0.
Oh, so you was closer then. Yeah, that wasn't a bad shout.
Yeah, I did know that we would. I thought we'd lose it, but I didn't. I didn't think 5. And then Leverkusen, you said 3-2 to
Us.
Leverkusen.
Them,
Yeah, and I said 2-0 to West Ham. Win on
Ooh.
pens. But no, not to be. So Liverpool.
I do think we're going to put in a decent performance against Liverpool. I really do. And I don't think they're amazing, but I just don't think we just can't defend Sam. We just can't defend. And actually, ever since Dawson left, I don't think we've been the same in defence.
We haven't. We definitely haven't. And again, and Mavropanos are injured as well, aren't they?
I think they're both got a knock, haven't they?
So that means Ben Johnson or Ogbonna at centre half.
God. Well, in that case,
That's. You know, I didn't think about that, but
I'm going to say then probably it's similar to the Fulham result this week for Liverpool. Probably 3-1 Liverpool.
I was just going to say exactly the same. 3-1. I was actually going to go 2-1 West Ham win. But I'm going to go, if you've gone 3-1, I'm going to go 3-0 to Liverpool. Because, I don't know, we're either going to be there's going to even be 2 results. We win this or we get battered.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go. Because we could come back with a bit of a thing, but with everything this week about the manager maybe is going and interviewing new managers and all that. See, I think that's disrespectful because the way they've done it is they've got to have a contingency plan in case Moyes says he's not staying. But how can we be running a club with David Moyes saying, well, I'm going to let you know at the end of the year? Like, that is just outrageous for planning side of it. And I think and to be honest with you, they can use that in their own hands, but imagine he went in tomorrow and said, yeah, don't worry, I'm going to stay. So I think flying managers over.
Odd, very odd, isn't it?
Without announcing that he won't be staying. Like that is. So the players, are they going to be with David Moyes this week against? You know he's going.
They've flown him over and he's immediately come out and said, I've got no interest. It's just like.
No. Definitely not for
me. Just wanted a little trip to London. Bored, wasn't I?
Freebie. Really, yeah. He wanted to go Harrods, do some shopping. Oh, yeah, they're put on the old plane. Lovely. He was like so blasé as well. He's also in a job. That's what I thought was quite weird.
Baffling, isn't it? It's just a baffling situation.
Just jumping on, yeah, I'm just going to speak to West Ham. Maybe he was doing it to get Liverpool to hurry up.
Yeah, although it's just been announced that Liverpool are, I think, in advanced talks with, is it Slot at Feyenoord? I can't remember his first name. Something Slot. He's the Arnie Slot. He's the Feyenoord manager.
Right.
They've just won the league, and apparently, yeah, it's just come out that they're in like advanced discussions with him.
That is a poison chalice for anyone who takes it. Let me tell
you. Yeah.
Because Jurgen Klopp, one thing he's done is he took on the city with him. Like, he lived and breathed it. He really did. Maybe something David Moyes didn't do. Although it is hard. I think he did at the beginning a little bit. And probably then it just went against him a little bit. But I think with West Ham, you really do have to win them fans over. You almost have to be a bit sly and give it the old like that at the beginning of the games, and because that is actually what West Ham fans love, don't they?
I don't know when did it? I mean, obviously we didn't have a great season in the league last season. It was pretty.
Well, you think Leon was so good?
But that's what I mean. When did it turn? Because we obviously got to the semi-final.
That season they loved him. So that season, last season were bad, and I think it was because. What I don't think he didn't help himself with we kept reminding everyone that we'd been in Europe. I think that's where it fell apart. I think if he'd have said, "Do you know what? I'm gutted. I want to be in Europe so bad. I love this club. I want it." That there is a different message. And I'm disgusted that the players have played like this today. Or I'm disgusted that we have underperformed like this. I think people go, yeah, we like him. And I think the "I told you so" was too much for West Ham fans. And I think that was it. We know the same. We could recite that interview. Went on for a year. Last time I checked, West Ham weren't in European competitions. And, and that I think didn't help.
Just locked people up the wrong way a little bit.
We've done pretty good here last 4 years. Like a few years or whatever it was he was saying. And it just... I think that was the problem. And I think if he'd have got a bit more on board and a bit more savvy in some of the things he said, West Ham fans really only want hard work, don't they? And actually, the next week, take 5 of them out of the team, put them on the bench and say, unfortunately, we might lose. We might not be going as well today, but I've had to show them that you don't perform like that at West Ham. And that, I think West Ham fans love that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they lap that out, don't they?
Yeah. And just say, unfortunately, and then maybe have pulled on the board a little bit more. We're desperately understaffed it. And that little sense to make them do it. But then you get the other side of he divers on transfers and things like that. So you don't really know who does the transfers at West Ham.
No.
So you don't really know who to blame. But from everyone, like from Pierce that works with him, things like that, they speak so highly of him, don't they?
Yeah.
Shearer speaks so highly of him. So he's good at what he does. And I think we could be losing someone very... He's not actually that old, is he? It was his birthday or something this week. It was like 60-something he was. And I was like...
Is he?
Yeah, but quite early 60s. I
Yeah,
actually thought he's not as old as I thought. He looks a lot older.
No.
He looks a lot older since he's been at West Ham, doesn't he? But I suppose he was quite young when he went to Manchester United. Quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, let's see this week. Liverpool.
Could be a tough one, but it'll be the West Ham way to give them a good eye, and just when they're
Lovely
ready
to ruin their
when
league,
when they're ready to win the league, and the other side of Liverpool will be worship him again.
And then imagine it came to the last game of the season if we beat City, Arsenal to win the league. Like we could do it for Deck.
It'd be totally West Ham to do something like that.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? It'd be. I don't know. I fancy City though. I do fancy City this year.
Yeah, I do.
Although they're not playing that great, are they?
No. Check, they was lucky the weekend, weren't they?
Yeah. Although to be fair, Pep did have a point. Why on earth are they playing the early game on Saturday after just playing Real Madrid when both the other teams have got no European? Like it is outrageous, isn't it? And he said the standard game was rubbish because of that. And so he does have a point with that a little bit. Oh, also, we got to just mention, what about Nottingham Forest's VAR? We're talking about our embarrassment of a club. That is the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
It's just...
It's outrageous, isn't it?
Beggars belief that someone would put that tweet out.
Because it looks like a parody account, doesn't it?
Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
It's so funny. Right, well, that is goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me. Till next week.
Depressing week. Let's hope this weekend's a bit better. Come on, you Irons.
I ain't gonna hold my breath. Come on, you Irons. We'll be